Hey, what's going on, guys? It's TrekYT here, or Nick, back with another video. Today, guys, we are going to be trying something new again. I have actually decided to listen to you guys again. So I know that a lot of you guys out there, when I started to gain a lot of my subscribers back in the day, it was a lot based on SkyBlock. So I know there's still a lot of you guys out there that still really enjoy SkyBlock. And I've seen a lot of people that have commented on my base showcase series asking me to do a similar series or just do one of basically a video giving out a schematic for a SkyBlock island. So I decided to do that today. So this is what today's video is going to be, guys. We are going to be touring the SkyBlock island that I have built for you guys that you guys can download in the description. It should be in the first couple of links in the description, and you guys can use that schematic for your own SkyBlock server. So without further ado, guys, let's jump right into today's video. So we're going to start on the outside, kind of walk around this path that I've put around this central building. And what this building actually is it's a spawner. There's a spawner right in the center, so this would mainly be for iron golem spawners, because when I was playing factions, they're not factions, SkyBlock, everybody for the most part was using IGs for their main money source. Now I know this does not in any way maximize capacity, but what I want to do with this potential series is I want to go ahead and really focus on the looks of the islands, rather than actually focusing on I still want it to function, but I don't want it to overpower the looks of the base of the island, because I think that islands really, in my opinion, when I think of playing SkyBlock Island, I think of just a beautiful looking island that you've built from basically nothing, and then it has function to it, so you can like get more stuff, get more rich and stuff like that. So that's what this whole potential series is going to be. I'm just going to test it out with one episode, and if you guys love it, we'll definitely bring it back for some more. So when you zoom out, you've got the actual island. It's nothing too crazy. It's just an island made out of stone and then has some dirt and then some grass on top. Nothing really too crazy, no crazy texturing, because I do realize that if you guys are building this in a SkyBlock server, it's going to take you a very long time, especially if the server does not have fly. Now, if the server has fly and you have access to that, definitely would make this a lot easier. I could see how it could become very difficult for someone to not be able to do that. So if you guys like the idea of me building like an island for a SkyBlock island, I guess, video, definitely let me know down below, because I have other ideas where I could make the whole entire island kind of enclosed, make it kind of like a faction base per se. But at the same time, I think that making it an actual island, especially because you're playing SkyBlock Island, it should definitely look like an island. So that's what I went with this, and we have this really nice house right in the center, which was mainly I was trying to figure out how can I put a spawner right in the center of the island without making it look ugly, and this is what I came up with. Now I know the top, in my opinion, these two spots right here are a little bit blank, so that's where you guys can go in there and maybe make some windows there or anything that you feel would fit in well. And I'm really digging these trees on the side. I've been really working on my tree game, trying to step that stuff up, and I think that this is actually a pretty dang good tree. Now, one thing that I've realized when I've started to build more and more trees is that I really want to focus on the branches. Now, the leaves have been overpowering in my past trees, like in the past couple of years, and I've really worked on realizing that having the branches exposed and making them look more like a real tree makes a lot more sense, because if you go outside and you look at a tree, depending on what type of tree, you're going to have mainly the center of the tree is going to be pretty bare with leaves. Mainly the leaves are going to be towards the end of the branches, so that's why I have kind of left this little gap in here. So that's just a building tip that I've really kind of come to realize is something that's quite essential for building really nice looking trees, and I'm still working on getting better at trees, as I'm always getting better at different techniques when it comes to building. So one thing about this house right here in the center, if you come on the inside and you break through one of these blocks, we have this hollow room up here. Now, I left this hollow room for one specific reason, and that was a potential shop. Now, I left it empty because I don't know what people would want to sell, and making a shop isn't too difficult. You just put a chest and then a sign or whatever, however it works on the current SkyBlock server that you're playing on. So I left this empty, but one thing that I could say you could probably do is if you do make a shop, you could probably bust out one of these walls and then make like a little window or something, and then that could be filling up that space that I was talking about earlier. It's kind of up to you. That's just something that I thought would look kind of cool. I left that space up there for you guys to be able to just have at it and get a little creative, and leave you guys a little bit of extra space that you can expand to if you want to. So taking our last little walk around this center building down here, you can also see a little bit of detail here and there. I like to put in some flower pots here and there, and then I really like to go back and put as much foliage as possible, but not too much. As you can see, I did leave some some blank spaces just to kind of make it not too overpowering. And one thing that I like to do is when I build a path, I like to try to leave almost zero foliage on the path because it just makes more sense in my head to have a clear path than not a clear path. And then on these railings right here, one thing that I've been doing a lot of lately is I use anvils as the railings because they really do look like they could be really nice railings. As you can see, they have some really nice architecture to them, as well as they double as you can use them as an actual anvil. So that's something that I also really like. So we're gonna move underground to the rest of the island, but before we do that, we're gonna look at this little nice outcrop, I guess, that I took off the side of this building, and something building related that I want to kind of emphasize to you. So you can see right here I have these columns that are holding this up. That makes sense, you know, you gotta have some supports to hold up your column. But as I walk down here, you can see that the columns actually continue into the ground on both sides. That's something that I find very important, and that's bringing the realisticness of actual building into the game, which makes things look a lot better. Because let's say per se I just left this like that and then pretend that was all dirt. That would look terrible. It would look absolutely terrible in my opinion because it wouldn't make sense. So that's something that I really like to strive to do, is make my builds actually make sense. So that's just one building tip again that I like to give out to people. So let's move underground. If you guys can't remember, but in my first season of my SkyBlock island, back when I was doing SkyBlock on Sky Regions, I had an island very similar to this. I didn't have anything really up top quite yet. I had a little bit, but nothing major. But I did have a sort of a cave like this. Now, the reason why I do this in the cave and going underground on a SkyBlock island is because there's only so much space on top of the island. Unless you just build a straight flat platform and just forget looks altogether, there isn't as much space. So you have to go within the island to, I guess, really maximize the space. So that's why I added this nice little cave, and I like to continue the grass down in the cave and then kind of make the walls a little bit more cave-like. But I also like to make it super overgrown because I think it looks cool because it adds the green colors and all the other flower colors in here instead of making it a boring stone and brown shaded color. So we take our stroll down here and it turns from cave to, I guess, more of a geometric style build, but it's still slightly overgrown. So you come down here, you're greeted with your first set of chests. This is to whatever you really feel like putting inside them. I just wanted to put the storage underneath, and there really isn't going to be too much storage that you're going to have to really worry about on a SkyBlock island, because for the most part, if you're not using it, you're most of the time are going to be selling it, because that's kind of how the economy on SkyBlock works, is you sell the stuff you don't need so you can buy the stuff that you do need, since you're not necessarily going to mine for everything. Now, there are those people out there that mine for everything, like mine their trees, they mine just actual mining on I guess a cobblestone generator. But for the most part, if you're not using something, most of the time you're selling it, so there shouldn't be too much storage, but there definitely is plenty down here. So you take your first left over here, we have ourselves our enchanting table on the left side. You gotta have one of those because you definitely want to be able to enchant stuff to be able to, I guess, whenever you need to do something, because some servers have like PvP arenas separate from the islands, and as well as you also would like to enchant your tools to make building and stuff like that a lot easier. So we take a turn over here, we do have the collection area for that generator or that spawner that's up above. I would say use it as an iron golem spawner, but you definitely can, I guess, customize it to your needs. For all I care, you could make it into a cow spawner. I think there's definitely enough room up there to make it into a cow spawner. And then you loop back this way and there's plenty of more storage back here. Some storage right here, a little bit more storage over here, and then a little bit more storage over here. Now, when you look at this area from a building aspect point, there's two things to look at. The two things that I kind of look at are the contrast and then the layers of depth. Now, the contrast is pretty obvious because you can see everything for the most part is a shade of brown or tan, and then we have this really nice prismarine, dark prismarine that really stands out in contrast between the two colors and really makes that area pop. So that's why I use that for the base wall color. It's this really nice green turquoisey color to really contrast all the browns, and I think that made it look really good. And then the second piece is the layers of depth. Now, for the most part, the layers of depth in this area are not overly obvious. Like, I don't have like super depth walls right here. I guess the layers of depth are more hidden. They're kind of outlining the build. It's something that I thought would be kind of cool is the layers of depth are like up above. So you can see when you come up here, there's layers of depth all around. Now, it's very subtle, but it makes this space look so much bigger. Like, if I took away, like, let's say I made this whole area flat, that just makes this building look so much smaller. As soon as I do that, it just opens up the area, and that's just something that I really like to do, and something I thought looked really cool in this build was to be able to open up the area, really make it feel a lot larger than life and a lot larger than it actually is. And then I think it just tied everything back together, having the same pattern throughout the entire build. And one struggle when doing this and doing all this building inside the island is you have to really worry about I guess going outside of the walls or whatever, because the island itself is only so big, so you kind of have a little bit of a restraint on how far you can go out before you're breaking through the side of the island through that stone layer on the outside. So that's something why you kind of have to be almost organic when you're doing builds underground like this. Now this is like semi-organic but still very geometric. Like I tried to carry the same geometric, I guess, pattern on the ceiling throughout, but like this outcropped right here is definitely kind of organic. Over here I tried to make it flow a little bit more organically because I wanted to put another set of chests right here, but if I moved it over one it would look weird, and I couldn't place it like straight right here. I wanted to just add a little bit more organic to it. So that's something that when you're building something like this, you really have to learn how to tie different pieces together. Like right here, you can see that the typical pattern I had was I guess a center log right here, and then it just kind of connects to another center log. But if you come over here, you can see that these are off kilter, so I kind of just had to leave that area blank, and I just kind of had to work with it. So it's something you guys kind of have to work with when you're getting more advanced into building, is really trying to make different areas flow when they don't connect up perfectly. So that's everything for this island. If you guys did enjoy today's video and want me to turn this into a sort of a series in making SkyBlock islands, now they're all going to be for the most part about this size. I'm never going to go much bigger, just for the fact that I don't want to do everything for you. I like building SkyBlock islands. Like this was actually a lot of fun for me because it really kind of brought me back to building in SkyBlock. Just, I mean, except I was in creative, not in survival, but it definitely brought me back, and it definitely makes me wish I was still doing a SkyBlock series. Now I don't think I'm going to bring a SkyBlock series back, but bringing this into a series could be that replacement that I could possibly need. Now again, the download for this SkyBlock island will be down in the description down below. If you guys would like to download it, feel free, use it as you please. Now I actually would love to see a couple of you guys using this in a SkyBlock, but I would love it also if you guys could change pieces of it to make it a little bit more your own, just because I think that would make it, I don't know, for me that's just something I like to do. Now I like giving out downloads for things, but I also like you guys taking them and transforming them into something of your own, and that's something that I really like to see, especially when I'm giving out downloads to different things. Thank you guys for tuning in today. If you guys did enjoy again today's video, definitely show your support down below as always, and I will see you guys in next video. Peace out.
Can we skip to the good part?